I always believed the worst thing you could find in your spouse's pocket was a lie. But the truth? Sometimes the worst thing is the thing you never expected to exist at all. Like the day I found a small black phone I'd never seen before. A phone my husband had been hiding for 7 years. And the very first message on the screen said, "You promised you wouldn't forget about us." I wasn't snooping that day. That's the part people never believe, but I swear, I truly wasn't. I was simply looking for the spare keys in the storage box on the top shelf of our closet. We'd lived in this house for 8 years, married for 7. I knew every drawer, every corner, every shelf. Or at least I thought I did. The phone was wedged between old winter scarves, wrapped in a sock. A cheap, outdated black phone with scratches all over the side. My husband, Adrian, was meticulous. He'd never owned something this worn out unless it meant something. When I pressed the power button, it buzzed weakly to life. And then, my heart stopped. A message appeared instantly, as if someone had been waiting for him to turn it on. "We need to talk. It's about her." Her? I froze. My hands trembled so hard the phone nearly slipped from my fingers. Who was her? A woman? A child? A sister I never knew about? That's when another message popped up, time-stamped 6 years ago. "Do you think she'll ever find out?" The phone dimmed. I stared at my reflection in the black screen, the woman I thought was happily married. The woman who believed secrets had no place in their home. I couldn't breathe. I sat on the floor of the closet, clutching that phone like it was a live grenade. Because in a way, it was. For 7 years, my husband had kept another phone hidden. And the messages on it made it painfully clear. Somebody else knew about me. Somebody else was talking about me. And my husband had been hiding that truth. Right then, something changed inside me. Not anger. Not jealousy. Something colder, something I'd never felt before. Certainty. Certainty that my marriage was built on a pillar of lies. And the only way forward was to uncover every single truth buried underneath. But I had no idea that this discovery wasn't just about a secret phone. It was about a different kind of betrayal. One that didn't involve cheating. But something far more complicated, painful, and life-shattering. Before I confronted him, I opened the message thread. And what I found next made me question everything I knew about my husband. And the person he had been before he married me. I stared at the screen for so long I forgot to blink. My throat was tight, my palms slick with sweat, my heart beat loud enough to drown out everything else. A secret phone. Hidden messages. A woman referred to only as her. I tried to scroll, but the phone was so old, so fragile, the screen lagged with every swipe. Most messages were years old, but they loaded slowly, one by one. Like someone pulling back the curtain on a life I wasn't meant to see. Unknown, she deserves to know. Adrian, not yet. It'll ruin everything. Unknown, keeping it from her will ruin everything. Adrian, I'm doing what's best. The words blurred. Ruin everything. What did that even mean? Was he talking about our marriage? About telling me something that would destroy us? My mind spiraled instantly to the worst possible explanations. A child. Another woman. Another life. But there were no names in the messages. No affection. No pictures. No flirting. No kisses. Nothing romantic. Instead, the messages felt heavy, serious, almost like conversations between two people trying to make a decision that terrified them. And that unsettled me more than anything romantic ever could. Because this wasn't cheating. This was something deeper, something planned, something intentional. I scrolled further. Unknown, she's ready. Adrian, you don't know that. Unknown, you promised her. My skin prickled. Promised who? Promised what? Then, 6 messages down, I found the one that shattered me. Unknown, if she finds out later, she'll never forgive you. My stomach dropped. Later? Later for what? The phone buzzed weakly and dimmed. Battery almost gone. My mind raced. I needed answers. I needed context. I needed to know who this mystery person was, the one texting Adrian about me, about promises, about ruining everything. I looked at the message thread details. The contact wasn't saved as a name. It wasn't even a number. It was saved as S. No last name. No emoji. Just S. I sat on the closet floor, breathing sharp, shallow breaths. Who was S? I scrolled all the way up, as far back as the phone would allow. The earliest message was 7 years ago. S, I know it's hard, but she deserves the truth. 7 years ago. That was the year we got married. My chest tightened. This wasn't a stranger. This wasn't a casual acquaintance. This was someone involved in our life during the beginning of our marriage. Someone who knew him. Someone who knew me. Someone who knew our marriage was beginning. And that it was built on something unsaid. I swallowed hard and kept reading. Adrian, I'm not telling her before the wedding. S, so you'll start with a lie? Adrian, it's not a lie. It's just not the right time. My vision blurred. I let the phone drop into my lap. He knew something before our wedding. Something he thought would ruin everything. Something he promised someone he'd tell me. But didn't. My hands shook uncontrollably. I remembered every moment from that time. The way he seemed distracted the week before the ceremony. The way he kept stepping outside for calls. The way he insisted on a private bachelor weekend with just one friend. What if the friend wasn't a friend? What if it was S? What if the bachelor weekend wasn't a party, but a meeting about this truth? A truth I still didn't know. I forced myself to keep scrolling. Some messages were short. S, this won't stay buried forever. Adrian, I know. Others were long, but tense. S, you think you're protecting her, but you're only protecting yourself. She's stronger than you think. One day this will come out, and when it does, it'll be worse. Adrian, please. Just give me time. She's happy. I don't want to break her. Break me? Break me how? My whole body felt hollow. Then I found a line that made my breath catch. S, if she finds out from someone else, it will destroy her. It needs to come from you. Someone else? Who? Who the hell else knew something about my marriage except me and my husband? I had the sudden urge to call Adrian. To scream into the phone, demand answers, demand explanations. But instead, I sat frozen. Because now I wasn't sure if I even wanted to hear the truth. What if the secret was worse than anything I imagined? The phone dimmed completely and shut off. Dead battery. Dead silence. I stared at the black screen like it was the face of a stranger who had just demolished the last 7 years of my life. A secret phone. Messages spanning years. A person identified only as S. Conversations about timing. About telling me something. About my future. About her. About promises. About being ready. I pressed the power button again, nothing. I needed the charger. I needed the truth. So I reached for the box again, pulling out every winter scarf, every glove, every random scrap of fabric, until my fingers hit something hard at the bottom of the drawer. Another object. Another secret. Not the charger. Not another phone. But something worse. A folded, worn envelope, with my husband's handwriting on the front. And the name written on top wasn't mine. It wasn't S. It wasn't a woman's name. It was a child's. A name I had never heard before. The moment I saw that name, I knew the truth wasn't about another woman. It was about someone neither of us ever talked about. Someone who wasn't supposed to exist. The envelope was old. Not ancient, just handled, edges softened, corners worn, the flap creased like it had been opened and closed too many times. But what froze me wasn't the age. It was the handwriting. Adrian had neat writing. Always had. But this looked different. Messier, shakier, like his hand trembled when he wrote it. And the name on the front. Lily. A child's name. A name I had never heard. A name he had never mentioned. A name that didn't belong to anyone in his family. My fingers went numb. Lily. Who was Lily? A niece? No, he had none. A goddaughter? No, he would have told me. A friend's child? Maybe. But why hide an envelope with that name? My heart dropped as an uglier thought clawed its way in. What if she was his daughter? I shoved the envelope into my lap, staring at it like it might explode. The messages on the secret phone. The urgent warnings. The insistence that I deserved the truth. The talk about her. What if her wasn't a woman? What if her was a little girl? My breath stuttered. My vision tilted. I didn't want to open it. But I had to. Because if I didn't, my mind would invent horrors worse than reality. With shaking fingers, I lifted the flap and pulled out the single sheet of paper inside, a letter, handwritten front and back. The kind of letter someone writes when they can't say the words out loud. I unfolded it slowly. His handwriting filled the page. To Lily. It began. My heart clenched. If you ever read this, I hope someday you'll understand why things happened the way they did. I blinked. Again. Again. Trying to focus. Trying to breathe. A father writes something like this. A father who can't be there. A father who lost his child. Or a father forced to stay away. I'm sorry I couldn't be the man you needed. I'm sorry that everything got so complicated. I'm sorry I didn't get to watch you grow. My chest tightened painfully. He had a child. He had a child before me. And he never told me. Tears pricked my eyes but didn't fall, not yet. I kept reading. There are things I can't undo. And I know staying away will make you hate me. But one day I hope you'll understand why I had to leave. Leave. He left her? A child? The man I married, the man who loved our son with his whole heart, had walked away from another child? My vision spun. I forced myself to finish the letter, though every word felt like a blade. If things were different, I'd be in your life. I'd be there for your birthdays, your first day of school, your scraped knees, your heartbreaks. But I can't. And I hope you never think it's because I didn't want you. The tears finally spilled. How could he hide this? How could he live with this? How could he start a family with me? When he already had a child he walked away from? My throat burned. The last lines trembled with emotion. Maybe one day I'll be brave enough to tell her. She deserves to know who I was before her. She deserves to know about you. Her. Me. He was talking about me. I felt like the floor had fallen out beneath me. This wasn't about infidelity. This wasn't about cheating. This wasn't about another partner. This was about a child. A child he left behind. A child he kept hidden for 7 years. And the truth was, in a twisted, painful way, what hurt wasn't just that he had a daughter. It was that he thought I couldn't handle the truth. That he feared I would leave him if I knew. That he built our entire marriage around the assumption that I couldn't love a man with a complicated past. The betrayal wasn't the secret. It was the silence. I stared at the letter, my breath uneven. I read it again, slower, trying to catch every nuance. Then the closet door slammed. I flinched violently, my heart leaping into my throat. As Adrian walked in, he froze at the sight of me. At the sight of the envelope in my hand. At the sight of the phone on the floor beside me. And for the first time in our marriage, I saw something in his eyes I had never seen before. Not guilt. Not fear. Not anger. Resignation. Like a man who had been waiting for this moment. Terrified of it, yes. But knowing, deep down, that it would come. His voice cracked. You weren't supposed to find that. I stood up on shaky legs. What is this? I whispered. He didn't answer. Who is Lily? He closed his eyes as if the name physically hurt him. Please, he said softly. Not like this. But I wasn't listening. Not anymore. All the questions burst out at once. Do you have a daughter? Why didn't you tell me? Does she know about you? Did you abandon her? Is she alive? Where is she? Why did you lie to me before our wedding? Who is S? My voice broke on the last question. Something inside him cracked. I heard it. I felt it. And when he finally spoke, it was with the voice of a man unraveling. She's not. He swallowed. She's not my daughter. My mind sputtered to a halt. I stared at him. Confused. Disoriented. He looked at the envelope like it was poison. Then he whispered. She was my sister. The world tilted. Sister? A child? I tried to process it, but the pieces didn't fit. I opened my mouth to speak, but he raised a trembling hand. "There's more," he said. His voice wrecked. Broken. Haunted. "And it's the part one never wanted you to know." Before I could ask anything else, he told me the truth. The real truth. The one so devastating and unthinkable that for the first time, I wasn't sure our marriage could survive it. For a long moment, all I could hear was the sound of my own heartbeat. Loud, panicked, erratic. As the words replayed in my mind. She was my sister. Not daughter. Not secret lover. Not a hidden child. His sister. But even that didn't make sense. The letter didn't read like something a brother would write. The secrecy didn't match a family connection. The tone, it was parental, protective, aching. I blinked at him, confused and shaking. "Your sister?" I repeated. He nodded once. A small, broken motion. And leaned against the wall like his legs couldn't hold him. "I should have told you," he murmured. "I should have told you everything." I stared at him, trying to reconcile the man standing in front of me with the man who wrote that letter. Trying to reconcile the version of our life I knew with the version that now felt full of holes. "Start from the beginning," I whispered. "Tell me everything." He ran a hand through his hair. Not in frustration, but in fear. A fear I'd never seen in him before. Then he finally spoke. "Lily wasn't just my sister. She was my responsibility." His voice cracked on the word responsibility. He walked past me, sat on the edge of the bed, and stared at the floor like he was bracing himself for impact. "I'm 12 years older than her," he said quietly. "She was born when I was in high school. Our parents, they weren't good people." I frowned. He never talked about his parents. I always assumed he was just private, not hurting. He continued. "They drank. They fought. They never wanted her. And by the time she was 3, they barely remembered to feed her." His jaw clenched hard, like the memory physically hurt. "I raised her," he whispered. "I changed her diapers, made her meals, took her to preschool. I was just a kid, but she was everything to me." My breath caught. Suddenly the tone of the letter made sense. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't fatherly. It was the desperate writing of a young man trying to protect a child from a world that kept hurting her. I sat down slowly. "Adrian, why didn't you ever tell me this?" He didn't look at me. "Because he wasn't done. When I was 19, something happened." He swallowed hard. His hands started to tremble. We were leaving our house. There was an argument. My father was drunk. His voice broke off. He tried again. He pushed me. I fell. And she tried to pull me up. She got in the way. A chill ran through me. My stomach twisted. He didn't look up as he said the next words. She hit her head on the corner of the porch. My hand flew to my mouth. "She was 4, he whispered. She died in my arms." My breath shattered. Tears spilled down his face, silent and uncontrolled. She died because she tried to help me, he sobbed. Because she loved me. I felt the world closing in. And my father blamed me. He told everyone I shoved her. He said it was my fault. I gasped. No, I whispered. No. He nodded, eyes wild with old pain. Yes. He told the neighbors. He told my grandparents. He told the police. My whole body went cold. The officers didn't charge me, he said. They knew I didn't do it. But the rumors, the whispers, they followed me everywhere. He buried his face in his hands. I was the boy who killed his sister. I felt my heart splitting open. He shook his head violently. My mom left. My dad drank more. And before I could process anything, they put me in therapy. Not because I needed it, but because they needed to fix the killer in the house. His voice was shaking uncontrollably now. I wasn't a killer, he cried. I didn't save her. I sat beside him and instinctively reached for his hand. But he pulled back. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to look at me the way everyone did back then. Broken. Dangerous. Responsible. So you hid it, I whispered. For 7 years. He nodded, tears streaming. I kept track of the case notes. Of her drawings. Her toys. And that letter. He gestured at the envelope. That was the letter I wrote when I was 21. Trying to say goodbye. Trying to forgive myself. Trying to speak to her. In a way I couldn't. When she was alive. My chest ached. And S? I whispered. He hesitated. Then finally answered. S was my therapist, he said. She's the one who helped me survive it. She kept the phone because she didn't want my dad finding it. And I kept it because it was the only piece of that part of my life that wasn't poisoned. He wiped his face. She told me to tell you. Before the wedding. Before we had kids. Before we built a life. I swallowed hard. And you didn't. He shook his head slowly. I was terrified. Terrified that if you knew the darkest moment of my life, you'd never trust me with a child. Never trust me with your heart. His voice broke again. I didn't lie because I wanted to hide something bad. I lied because I wanted to protect what we had. I let out a shaking breath. Not anger. Not hatred. Just heartbreak. He looked at me then. Really looked. Eyes swollen and red. Please, he whispered. Please tell me this doesn't change everything. I stared at him. At the man I married. The man who carried a scar deeper than anything I'd imagined. The man who lost his baby sister in his arms. And spent years believing it was his fault. It didn't make him a monster. It made him human. But it also made him a stranger. I don't know, I whispered truthfully. I don't know what this means for us. Not yet. His face crumpled. He nodded, accepting the uncertainty like a man accepting a sentence. I deserve that, he said softly. But there was still one more truth I didn't know. A truth he hadn't said yet. One hinted at in the messages. And in the therapist's warnings. the part he was still hiding. And when I asked the question he feared most, it led to a truth even darker than the death of his sister. I sat beside him in the stillness of our bedroom, the air thick with everything he had confessed, everything he had carried, everything he had buried. He told me about Lily, about his parents, about the accident, about the guilt, about the rumor that followed him for years. But I knew, from the messages, from his therapist's warnings, from the tension in his voice, there was still one more truth he hadn't spoken. Something darker, something deeper, something he couldn't bring himself to say. I looked at him, the man I thought I knew inside and out, and asked the question that had been clawing at me since I read the messages. Adrian, why did the messages mention, if she finds out from someone else? Who else knows about this? His face went pale, as if the question stabbed straight through him. He didn't answer. Who? I repeated, my voice shaking. Who else knows your secret? He swallowed, the muscles in his jaw tightening. It doesn't matter, he whispered. Yes, I said softly. It does. It matters to me. He clenched his fists. He looked at the floor, then at the wall. Anywhere but at me. Finally, in a voice barely above a breath, he whispered, my father. My skin prickled. His father. The same man who blamed him. The same man who started the rumors. The same man who poisoned the story of Lily's death. What about him? I asked. Adrian shook his head. Tears welled again. He didn't just blame me, he said. He made sure everyone else blamed me too. I frowned. What do you mean? He lifted his eyes slowly. He told people I pushed her. He told the police I was angry. That I was jealous. That I hated her. My breath stuttered. That's not true, I whispered. He nodded. Of course it's not. But he said it anyway. Because he didn't want to be the one responsible. A sharp anger stabbed through me. His father had destroyed his son. To protect himself. But that's not the whole truth, Adrian said quietly. I froze. There's more? He nodded once. Slow, pained, defeated. My father didn't stop at blaming me. He dragged in a shaking breath. He convinced people that I was dangerous. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? His voice trembled. He went to my school. Met with the principal. He told them I had violent tendencies. That I needed monitoring. I covered my mouth. No. Yes, he whispered. He told my teachers I had anger issues. He told Lily's preschool I shouldn't be allowed to pick her up. He told neighbors not to let their kids near me. A tear fell down his cheek. He told them I was unstable. I felt sick. That's why, he choked out. When the accident happened, the entire neighborhood believed him. I stared at him, horrified. His father didn't just blame him. He destroyed his reputation. His childhood. His future. His identity. All to save himself. My hands shook. But something still didn't add up. Okay, I whispered. But why? Why would he keep contacting you now? Why would he reach out years later? Why did S say? If she finds out from someone else? Who is someone else? Adrian's breathing quickened. He pressed a hand to his mouth, like trying to hold in a scream. Then he whispered, "My father tried to find you." My blood turned to ice. What? Adrian's voice cracked. He came here. To our town. To our street. My heart hammered so violently. I thought it would burst. When? I demanded. A few months before our wedding, he said. He found out I was getting married. He found out your name. I felt dizzy. What did he want? I whispered. Adrian shut his eyes, pained. He wanted to warn you. The room spun. Warn me about what? Adrian wiped his face with shaking hands. That I was dangerous, he whispered. That I was violent. That I was unstable. That I killed Lily. My mouth fell open. No, I breathed. He didn't. He did, Adrian said, voice breaking. He told me he'd find you. Tell you everything. Tell your parents. Your friends. Your coworkers. I pressed my palm against my chest, as if trying to force my heart to stay inside. And that's why you didn't tell me? I whispered. He nodded miserably. He threatened to ruin everything. He threatened to destroy our wedding. Our future. He said if I didn't walk away from you, he'd tell everyone you knew. That I was a murderer. Tears blurred my vision. So you hid the phone. You hid the messages. You hid the letter. Yes. Because you were afraid he'd find me first. He let out a sob. I loved you, he whispered. I loved you so much that the thought of losing you terrified me. I clasped the bed frame to steady myself. How long did he keep contacting you? For years, he said. On and off. He'd disappear for months. Then show up again. Always threatening. I felt a cold wave crawl up my spine. This wasn't just trauma. This wasn't just guilt. This was fear. A fear that controlled him for a decade. A fear inherited from a cruel parent who weaponized a tragedy. I wiped my eyes. Did he ever come here? To our home? Adrian hesitated. A beat too long. And my heart dropped. Adrian, I whispered. Did he ever come near me? His lips parted. His eyes filled with tears. And he whispered. He tried. My breath died in my throat. He followed you once, Adrian said, voice cracking. To your job. To your car. He took pictures. He sent them to me. I staggered back like he'd physically hit me. No, I choked. Adrian, no. I didn't know what to do, he sobbed. I didn't want to scare you. I didn't want you to feel hunted. I covered my face with both hands. He rushed forward. I swear, he cried. I protected you. I kept him away. I changed your schedule. Changed our routines. Changed everything. So he couldn't get near you again. My hands trembled violently. How long? I forced out. "A year," he whispered. I lived every day terrified that he'd show up again. I felt nauseous. This wasn't just a marriage secret. This was a dangerous secret. A terrifying secret. A life-altering secret. He hid his past. Not because he didn't trust me, but because he didn't trust what his father would do if the truth surfaced. I sank onto the bed, overwhelmed, shaking, barely able to breathe. Everything made sense now. The secrecy, the messages, the fear. But one question still lingered. "Adrian," I whispered. "Is he still out there?" His silence was the answer. And the truth he gave me next would decide whether our marriage could ever truly be safe again. He said the words and the room felt colder, as if the air itself had pulled back to give us space. He tried, he had said, and those two small syllables carried the weight of years. We sat in the dim kitchen while the sun went down, letting the house breathe. Outside, a dog barked and a neighbor's lawnmower hummed like a life that continued regardless. Inside, our life folded into a quiet that had more questions than answers. How do we make it safe? I asked finally, the words raw from too much thinking and not enough sleep. Adrian rubbed his face, the same way he had when he was a boy trying to keep himself steady in a storm. "I don't know," he admitted. "I don't know what I should have done differently. But I know what I will do now." He began to list it slowly, like reading from a map he'd kept folded in his pocket for years. Call the police, get a restraining order, document everything, change our routines, set up cameras if I wanted to, anything. He promised to go with me to the police station and tell them everything, to hand over the old phone, to tell the truth in public so his father could no longer use secrets as a weapon. I listened. Part of me wanted to scream at him for not telling me sooner. Another part of me wanted to hold him and tell him it wasn't his fault. Mostly, I wanted the shaking inside me to stop. "Will telling make it worse?" I asked. "What if he uses it to hurt us more?" "That's possible," he said. "But hiding it has already hurt us. It built a shadow wall between us. Telling will be dangerous at first, but it will also be honest. And honesty will let us decide together what to do." So the next morning, we did what felt like the bravest, dumbest thing we could think of. We went to the police and laid it all out. I sat across from a woman in a Navy uniform and watched her write as if the pen could stitch our story into something actionable. The officer listened without judgment. She took notes, scanned thumbnails of messages, photographed the envelope, and promised to look into whether Adrian's father had ever filed complaints or contacted local friends. She gave us forms, explained restraining order processes, and handed us a pamphlet on victim support. It was practical. It was small. And it was, unbelievably, a relief. We also sat down with a therapist, someone who specialized in family trauma and secrets. There, in a quiet room with soft chairs and a box of tissues, we did what we had never done before. We practiced saying the hardest sentences out loud in a place where no one would punish us for those words. I said, "I found the phone." He said, "I hid my past." We chewed over sentences we had wanted to swallow whole, and we flung some at each other and then held each other when they landed awkwardly. Therapy didn't fix everything. It didn't absolve him of the guilt or erase the way my stomach still flipped sometimes when my phone buzzed unexpectedly. But it gave us a vocabulary for the things we were trying to build: trust, accountability, boundaries, grief that could be shared rather than hoarded. Days became weeks, and some routines changed. He started answering my questions without flinching. He showed me receipts, emails, phone logs, evidence that he had sometimes fought his father's attempts to find me. He set up stronger locks on our accounts. We told only our closest friends and family at first, people we trusted to hold the truth like a delicate thing rather than toss it like gossip. We explained to our son in plain, gentle terms, age-appropriate but honest, so he wouldn't learn from rumors or offhand comments later. There were setbacks. There were nights I woke up sweating at 2 in the morning, remembering the tiny black phone in my hands. There were days when I looked at Adrian across the table and felt the old ache of betrayal rise up like a tide. But there were also mornings when he made eggs the way I liked them and left me small notes in my lunch that said, simply, "I'm here." The contrast between pain and tenderness felt unbearable sometimes, and then, inevitably, human. One afternoon, months after that first discovery, we drove to the hospice where Claire had volunteered and left flowers, not for Claire, this time, but for the people whose lives had been caught up in all of it. We stood silent for a long while and then sat on a bench and let the quiet settle like a blanket. There was grief there, yes, but there was also a small, stubborn calm, like the air after a storm finally clears. People asked me if I regretted staying. "Didn't you ever think of leaving?" asked a woman at the PTA meeting, her eyebrow raised with no judgment quite as neatly as a scalpel. Yes, I thought about it. I thought about the moment I first found the phone and the envelope and how my world had collapsed into an impossible geometry. I thought about the nights when anger burned a hole through me. I thought about protection and safety and the raw need to keep my child away from someone who tracked friends and took photos. I thought about wanting a clean slate and a future without shadows. But there's a quiet thing that happens when you watch the raw, human side of someone you love. You begin to understand that people are not single stories. Adrian's life had been shaped by a series of disasters and choices he did not fully control. He had loved and lost in a way that hollowed him out. He had been frightened and then silent. He had tried to protect, and in protecting, he had built silence into a wall. I also saw him trying to make different choices after I found out. So in the end, I chose to stay, not because I forgave everything in an instant, but because I believed in the work. I believed in accountability. I believed, maybe naively, that some people, when faced with the truth, will choose to repair rather than to repeat. I chose to trust that truth could be a foundation, hard and honest, rather than a weapon we used in the dark. We didn't fix everything. We still had moments that felt raw, like newly exposed nerve endings. We still had to talk through jealousy and shadows and the small, irritable resentments that quietly gather in marriage. But we also had more mornings of peaceful coffee, more honest nights of conversation, more plans made with both of us awake and informed. Months turned into a year. Adrian's father eventually moved away from the area after the police intervention and the boundary work we put in place. The court system moved slowly but decisively toward restraining orders and documented harassment, and for the first time in a long time, Adrian slept without one hand clenching the sheets. He started running again, something he had stopped after Lily, and one morning he came home and told me he'd signed up for a volunteer program at a center for young people. Because, he said, I don't want my past to be all I am. We still keep the tin box on the shelf, the letters folded and visible, not hidden. We open it sometimes and read the drafts he once wrote to a child he couldn't hold, and now those words sit beside notes we write to each other, small, imperfect things that map the territory we are learning to walk together. If there's a lesson in all of this, it's complicated and tender. Secrets can protect and they can poison. Silence can be an armor and a prison. Truth can be a sword and a salve. There is no single path that saves everyone. But for us, the path forward required exposure, legal action, therapy, and the willingness to keep showing up, especially on the days when showing up felt impossible. When I sit with our son now and watch him play, I sometimes catch myself thinking of the little girl in the envelope, of the life that intersected with ours in ways I never expected. I say her name sometimes when I think of the past, and it no longer feels like betrayal to speak it. It feels like honoring. At the end of the day, I still have scars from the discovery. Scars that flare when my phone buzzes unexpectedly or when a stranger asks a seemingly innocent question about our pasts. But those scars have edges that are softer now, worn down by effort and honesty. We are not a picture-perfect family. We are a family that was almost broken by silence and almost remade by the decision to tell the truth. So if you ever find something hidden in your partner's things, a phone, a letter, an old photograph, remember this: it's okay to be startled. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to take time. But know that once a secret is found, you too face a choice: let the secret widen into a gulf, or bring it into the light and see what grows there. We chose the light. It didn't make everything painless, but it made it possible. Who on earth keeps going? We do. We are.